I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves.
My name is Jennifer Njuguna, and I'm the CEO of Zahra Karim Limited. But the story did not start there. 19 years ago, I was in search of a better life. I had a big dream, and so I left for Dubai, lived and worked there for 18 years. I worked hard, going from one job to another. Some were jobs that I had never pictured myself doing. The harder I worked, the more I came face to face with one hard truth, that enduring wealth was not in my current radar. I needed something different. I had to make a tough decision to come back to Kenya. Today, I run my own business and I even have my own factory. Want to know how I got here? Follow me and hear my story. Your story can be next. You can be the next big thing.
Hello, Charles. Hi, Christine. Hello, Jane. Hello, James, George. Wow, we've got a full house. All right, it's good to have everybody here. And hope you're all as excited as I am about tonight. I'm very, very, very excited and welcome from wherever you are tuning in from. We are about to have a great time today. Again, we continue with our high impact communication. And boy, oh boy, I think we've been having a really great time. And it's only going to get better. And today we are going to talk about yes, you're welcome. Very, very, very welcome. Today we're going to talk about what I have called the element of surprise. The element of surprise. And well, we're going to do I'm going to give you a few activities yourself. So I hope you're ready. All right. Hope everybody is ready for today. Now, and when I was okay, I'm just reading that. There we go. The Volvo story. Yes, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I'd forgotten completely about the Volvo story. So I'm going to tell you the Volvo story. All right. Because of this. Now, that Volvo story, now that's part of what I'm talking about. The element of surprise. You see, people don't forget when you introduce the element of surprise in communication. It's something that makes it stick. And, you know, like I said, some books that will really help you in this journey, Made to Stick, Why Some Ideas Survive and Others Die, by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Then this is Harvard Business Review on Communication. And this is Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erickson. And those are really, really good books that will help you when it comes to communication. All right, so let me tell you a story. We had this Volvo many, many years ago. And Volvo, back in the day, you know, was such a prestigious car. Very powerful, prestigious car. That's what it was back in the day. Except that there was nothing prestigious about this, our own. It looked so good on the outside. You know, it was a powerful engine. It looked so good. But you know what? that car could only move on flat ground. If you try to go up a hill, it was not going to happen. So when we're traveling, it was very important that there was no car in front of us so we could go as fast as possible. And then when going up the hill, when the car gets tired, then we begin to do a zigzag. We begin to do a zigzag, you know, for it to get up the hill. It was absolutely a useless car. Absolutely useless. Now, what's the moral of the story? Is that a lot of times people appear to be high performers when everything is okay. But just give a little gradient, a little challenge here and there, and you realize that they're not high performers anymore. And we don't want to be high performers only when the conditions are right. We want to be high performers regardless of the condition. Did everybody get that story? Now, you know what? I want to welcome James Small from Canada, Christine from Canada, Jane, Keva. Let me see who else is here so I can just be welcoming people. You know, now, did you get that story? Bernard. Okay, I'm applying physics. Okay, I didn't know I was applying physics, so that's probably unconscious competence there right now. But let me tell you, you know what just happened? When you are talking, and the minute you say, let me tell you a story, you know what happens to everybody? Their attention, full alert. Did you get that? Full alert. Now, that is one of the surprise elements that you can introduce when you're given a presentation, or well, because you see, people's attention span, you have to understand that people's attention span could be really short, and it's even getting shorter and shorter. I read an article some time ago, and it says that the attention span of a human being right now is shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. All right? Why? Because we have all these gadgets around us that we go straight to the point, X number of characters. You know, we have all these characters. Thank you, Claire. You know, we have all these things that have reduced our attention span. So somebody who was giving a speech or a presentation when I was younger, when I was in school, for instance, will not have the problems that the person giving a presentation today will have. You understand what I'm saying? They won't have that problem. So if you are going to retain the attention of people today, you are going to have to be intentional, deliberate about keeping that attention. And one way to do it is the surprise element. Let me give you a story. Let me tell you again. Let's look at branding, okay? This is now about branding. And I want you all to comment on this. How many brands do you think we interact with every day? Purity, you see what I did? You see, I'm teaching you all my tricks. So now you'll be able to do it better than me. That's the whole idea. How many brands, how many brands do you think we engage with every day? Any ideas? Just think off the top of your head. How many brands? And then write a figure there for me. Write a figure. Mombi says it's 100. Remy says it's 10. Go on. Come on, please. How many brands do you think we interact with? You know, in a day. Taiwo says 250. Hamza says 100 to 1,000. Charles says infinite. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let me give you an example. And I think I had done this in one of our sessions, but it's always good to do it again, which is another thing. Paul Mukoma says 500. All right, let's see. Are we ready to see? Now, let's talk about when you wake up. When you wake up, you're sleeping, you wake up. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? I mean, it varies for different people. Okay. When we wake up, different things. But so Kefa brews his coffee, Claire checks the phone. Mumbi prays, but then goes to the phone. Now, Christine checks the weather. Okay. Now let's take it further. For those of you who check your phone, what exactly are you looking at on your phone? Purity checks the phone and then cooks breakfast. You know, you wonder what our lives were without phones. What our lives were without phones. So, okay, so Bible app, news websites, weather, person checks the weather, Ronald checks the emails. Okay. Now, remember, we have not yet left our bed. Purity, emails, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. Yeah, I hope that's where you connect with me on LinkedIn. All right, so let's look at this. You just woke up here on your bed. You pick up your phone, just that phone, that's the first brand, iPhone, Samsung, whatever, brand one. Then you go LinkedIn, that's another brand. WhatsApp, it's another brand. Emails, another brand. Weather, it's another one. Bible, it's another one. So, guess what? Remember, you have not yet left your bed, and easily you have communicated, you have interacted with 10 brands, and you have not left your bed. Then guess what? You leave your bed, you go to the bathroom. Somebody said there, I go brush my teeth. Okay. Washroom, that's a brand. I brush my teeth, that's a brand. Whatever toothpaste you're using. Your toothbrush, the sink, the toilet, the shower, the sponge. My wife is giving me the soap, the shaving foam, moisturizer, shampoo, conditioner, the bed, the beddings, the bulb. I love this class. The bulb, tissue paper, lotion, mirror, cologne, slippers. Oh my God, I love this class. Now, the towels, face flannel. So guys, are you getting this? So within your first 10 minutes, you have probably done 50 to 100 brands if you're not careful. Are you hearing me? Okay. Then you now go the coffee machine, milk, sugar, the mug, Jane, the shower cap. So And this is where we're going. The television. So I read something, guys. I read that we interact with between 6,000 and 10,000 brands a day. Oh my goodness. Between 6,000 and 10,000 brands a day. So now this leads to the million-dollar question. Are you ready? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to compete with that? You must be able to capture the attention of people. Super Bowl, an ad goes for $3 to $4 million, if I'm not mistaken, for a 30-second ad. And Volvo pulled off one of the biggest advertising coups of all time. All right? Let me actually read verbatim what they did. It was, just one second. I already told the story, Mombi. Don't worry, I'll put this up tomorrow. You'll be able to. I'll put this up. You'll be able to see it. All right? So, Volvo created the most unconventional ad. And, you know, many brands are there. And the campaign name for Volvo was called Volvo Interception. Now, so instead of airing a commercial during the game, what did Volvo say? Volvo encouraged viewers, whenever they saw a car commercial, just tweet hashtag Volvo contest. All right? And by doing this, you could win a brand new Volvo. Did you get that? Did you get that? So, as viewers are watching Super Bowl, when Lexus comes up with their ad, what do people do? They take their eyes off the screen, they go on their phones, and they tweet hashtag Volvo contest. When Mercedes came up with their ad, nobody was watching them. Everybody was on their phones. Come on. It's one of the most successful ads of all time. And how did they do it? Captured the attention of people. There's a book called The Purple Cow. I don't know if you've seen that. Look, if you're driving through the countryside and there's a brown cow, there's a white cow, there's a black cow, you're seeing it at the side of your eyes, it doesn't get attention. But if you suddenly see a purple cow, you will stop everything you're doing. Now, that is how we maintain the attention of people when we are giving presentations or speaking. Remember, our objective is to hold their attention. Is somebody hearing me today? Hold their attention. Keep that attention, because people have a very short attention span now. And if you're not able to hold their attention, you are going to lose them. And, you know, it's like when I was writing the info for this, when you're watching a movie and you're so bored, about to sleep, then something happens, all right? And you suddenly wake up and you're on the edge of your seat. You know what they did? They threw in that purple cow for you. They threw in that purple cow. So if you're giving a speech or presentation and you suddenly see that maybe you're losing people, introduce a purple cow. Introduce a purple cow. And one of the ways you can introduce the purple cow, you know what it is? One of the ways to introduce a purple cow, you can use questions. Questions, you've been talking, and then suddenly you ask a question. Everybody is going to be at attention. Did you notice when I asked how many brands, everybody was participating? So sometimes you can just add a question. And what that question will do is that once you ask the question, it forces everybody to pay attention to you. In fact, in conversations, he who asks the questions controls the conversation. That's why, do you know the best salespeople are not people who can talk? They are people who can ask the right questions. And they are able to get you to a point. They've asked questions. And the bottom line is, what can I do for you to buy from me? That's it. It is not, oh, talk and talk and talk and talk. No, it's about asking the right questions. Is somebody hearing me today? It's about asking the right questions. So that's one very, very powerful way. Another powerful way of holding on to the attention of people is to paint images, and that's called stories. Oh, stories are so powerful. They are so powerful because now I think I shared something with you. I don't know if it was here. I do so many of these things, so I don't know where I said what. So let's just imagine I've not said it here before. If I say a red BMW, now tell me, what did you just see in your mind? Did you see letters? R-E-D, BMW? Is there anybody who saw letters? Anybody who saw letters, let me know. When I said a red BMW. Good. So you did not see letters. What did you see? You saw a picture of a red BMW. You saw an image. Okay, you saw an image. Of course, the model you saw is determined by a lot of other things, but you saw an image. So never forget this. The human mind was not designed to interpret letters or words. The human mind was designed to interpret images. Ooh. So, if what you are hearing cannot form an image, you will not be able to execute it. Oh, you won't. No matter how great the information is. I've been in places where I speak to people in my language, in Yoruba, and I give them an offer. Anybody who hears what I'm saying, come and collect all my books for free. And I say it, and nobody moves. They're just watching. Why? Because they are listening, they are paying attention, but what I have said has not created an image. And as long as it has not created an image, it cannot be executed. It's not connecting. I was working for a bank in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and they were having some problems with their sales team with regards to hitting their target. Hamza, I say it now. It's a lie. That's called campaign after election. It's not gonna work. So I'm with these guys in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, the sales team. They had given them all sorts of incentives, all sorts of things. You know what? They didn't perform. So they invited us to come. And when I got there, understanding what I just shared with you, so I had a meeting with HR, and I said, okay, tell me, if they hit these targets at different levels, what does it look like? What can be different in their lives? So when they gave that to me, I now went to break it down into images. I said, if you hit this level of target with the money you get, depending on your needs, but if you wanted to buy this kind of car, and I put an image, say you'll be able to do it. If you wanted to make a deposit for this kind of house, I put the image. I put there. All right? So, guess what? Once it formed an image, do you know what? They exceeded their targets by, was it over 70% or so? Because now it formed an image. And that's why you will hear teachers, someone like Jesus, would say, a sower went out to sow. Or a certain man had 2 sons. Now, you know what? You are using imagery to convey very important truths, but that way you keep your audience engaged. Is somebody hearing me today? You keep your audience engaged. So you have to learn. I think I should do a session with you on the art of storytelling. What do you guys think? Should I do something on storytelling? You know, I think we should do something on storytelling. Because you need to become an expert storyteller if you are going to be a great communicator. Who has been watching Kamala Harris? Now, you know what's happening? And what's happening when you look at her? Have you seen what she's doing? She is asking questions. She is telling the stories. Now, that was the same strategy that Trump had used all along. Just talking, telling stories, painting images. if you have to make a presentation and you are up against a storyteller, you are not going to win. Is somebody hearing me? Because with a story, you can introduce that surprise element. So we've said, ask questions. With a question, you can introduce surprise element. I mean, think of it. If I've been talking for, say, 5-10 minutes, and you must learn how to pace your surprise element. Because if the whole thing is surprise, if your whole presentation is a surprise and you're not going anywhere, then we might have a problem there. So you need to know how to pace it. You need to know. So you can tell a story, and then suddenly, zap. How many of you, we fly all the time, yeah? And we listen to, yeah, we listen to the flight attendants saying, your seatbelt is done like this, the security, da, 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 da. We listen to that all the time, isn't it? And you know what? Sometimes it becomes so monotonous. It becomes so monotonous. So Virgin Atlantic, let me see if I can find it, then I can share it with you. Virgin Atlantic came up with an ad. Virgin Flight. They came up with an ad, and they just totally broke the monotony. All right. In fact, you can check that. What I'll do when I send you the newsletter on Monday, I will put the link for that Virgin ad. Okay, and you see, it was really cool. Of course, when you watch it long enough, and after a while, then even though it's very, very exciting the first time you watch it, after a while, it becomes monotonous. So you have to change it again. I hope you're getting this. You have to change it again. All right? This one is going to, let me tell you another one. When I was young, a police siren was like, it was like what's that thing called? Monotonic. When I was young, it was just something like, you know what? They discovered after a while, people had gotten so used to that, it was not having the effect they wanted it to have. So guess what happened? That's when they now changed to all those very confusing sounds, all those funny, funny sounds. Then guess what? I guess people have gotten used to that. Last week, the British police have introduced a new siren sound. All to break the monotony because of the human attention span. Somebody getting this tonight? All to break that monotony. So if you are going to be an expert communicator, you are going to have to introduce the surprise. There's a book here. Where's my Beyond Intelligence? It's somewhere here. Oh, it's here. Let me tell you, Sometimes another way to introduce that surprise element is to come up with sometimes statistical data that will shock everybody. So, for instance, but make sure, now I beg you, you know, we live in the world of Google and GPT and all that. People can verify. So please make sure that the statistics you are giving, it can be, you know, it checks. Because, but have you noticed, I don't know, I've noticed that when somebody is talking and he says, statistics have shown that blah, 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 people take them seriously. Am I the only one who has noticed that? Somebody is talking and said, statistics have shown that at 8 p.m. in Africa, the lights go off. Some people told me that, you know, they came from Los Angeles and they told me that, you know, and they had it from somebody. Statistics. Yes, or research has shown that. Now, when people hear that, somehow they pay attention. You are likely to get away with it, even if you say rubbish. But in the event that you now have that one person that wants to go and verify what you said, oh, you could give yourself a bad name. You could give yourself a very bad name. So it's very, very powerful. Introduce data. Yes, research has shown you interact with 6,000 brands a day. You guys are cracking me up tonight. Once you say that, research has shown, statistics has shown, people pay attention. However, if you want to take it to the next level, you know what you do? And I encourage this when I'm giving lectures and things out there. It's very important to quote your sources. Are you hearing me? Quote your sources. And talking of quoting your sources, do you know the best sources to quote? Oh, let me tell you some of the best places to get your data from. Always look for a source that has a reputation to protect. A source that can be sued. So, for instance, when I say, according to research done by CNN or a report by CNN or Al Jazeera, you know what that does? It has given credibility. It has given credibility because CNN or ABC or whatever, any of these news channels, Citizen, whatever, they have a level of credibility. That's why, isn't it interesting? Think with me. Sometimes you see something on social media, but what do you do instinctively sometimes? Tell me, you see some story on social media, all right? When you see it, you're like, oh my God, what is the first thing you do? Maybe you see some blogger has said this, some person has said that. What do you normally do? How do you respond to such? Anybody? You cross-check. There we go. You cross-check with established news sources. You check credible news channel. Who is the source? Now, guess what? You want to be, because over time, this is how you build your reputation. You want to be known as a credible source yourself. And the only way to be known as a credible source is to quote credible sources. Are you hearing me? Quote credible sources. So I'm not just saying something from top of my head. No. And what that means, you know what that does? It's also a layer of security for you. So in the event that that information is wrong, you are covered. That I was quoting CNN, or I was quoting the United Nations website. I was quoting the World Bank site. All right? This is very important. But using data and dropping figures and statistics, that can help you, introduce that surprise element. So for instance, I'm talking and I say that one of the sad things, listen, why is Africa where we are today? Why is Africa where we are today? Now, I can come up with amazing theories, but then when I say, well, it's all in the research. If we don't research into the future, we will live in a future researched by others. For instance, statistics, research has shown us, and you can get this from Statistica, it's a credible source, that Israel has about 8,000 out of, they have, for every million inhabitants, they have over 8,000 researchers. The United States, I actually wrote that in one of my books. Let me read it for you so that I'm not just quoting something. United States has about 4,000 or so researchers per million inhabitants. And I go on and on like that. One second. Go on and on like that. And then finally, I get to Africa. Yeah. Okay, listen. So I'm quoting from UNESCO.org, and I'm quoting from Statistica. So listen to this. Listen to this. One second. Israel has the highest number of researchers per million inhabitants in the world, as at the time I was writing this, with 8,250 per million inhabitants. United States, 4,217. Japan, 5,326. And you see, I'm building something. South Korea, 6,856. I said, when I've done all that, I said, now, who wants to hear the figures for Africa? Tell me, do you want to hear the figures for Africa based on what I've said? All right, I've already talked about, so I was building. Did you notice that? I was building Israel, the US, South Korea. Yeah, I'm giving you their figures. Then suddenly, say, do you want to hear the figures for Africa? You know what I've done? I've asked a question and I'm working with data at the same time. So of course you want to hear. South Africa, 432. researchers per million inhabitants. Then you pause. Let it sink in. That's another way to get attention. By pausing. By keeping quiet sometimes. The American politicians have mastered that. When they pause, it is so you can clap. I remember one time Jeb Bush was giving a speech somewhere and he paused and nobody clapped. He said, come on, you guys, please clap for me. That pause. Because even if someone was dozing off, maybe your voice was a lullaby, it was dozing off, then you stop. Did you see that? When you stop, you get everybody's attention. So that's another surprise element. You just stop. You've said something and let it sink. You get their attention. So, you want to hear for Africa? South Africa, 432. Wow. Then when I'm doing this, I know whichever country I'm doing this, wherever I am, they want to hear the figures for their own country. And, you know, people are funny. When I tell them for their own country, then they all know, say, okay, what is Nigeria? So, I'm sure you want to hear for Kenya right now, those of you here. Kenya has 225, while Nigeria has Kenya is on my case today, eh? He said, say it. 38. So, and I use that to build a case. So sometimes just having the right data will help your case. It helps your case big time. All right? These are some of the ways you can keep people engaged. You know, I was talking about how much companies are spending on their research and all that. Now, people generally love to hear data. They love it. So if you have credible sources, give it. They'll pay attention when you're doing that. It helps your message to stick. All right, are you getting this tonight? It helps your message. So we've said, ask questions, very powerful way. Tell stories. I'll have a session with you on storytelling and what makes a great story. Ask questions, tell stories, because stories, you're painting. Edwin, are you laughing at Nigeria? Or you are laughing because there's a joke being cracked where you are? So when you tell stories, you paint an image. You see all these guys on this platform here, these young single guys. If I say a beautiful lady, all of them saw somebody right now. They saw, it was not abstract. They saw somebody. Person, they know the name, has a phone number. Am I telling the truth? I don't know. Okay, so the ability to paint those images using statistical data is very, very important, because it has a way of just getting people's attention. Then knowing how to use that pause and silence is very, very powerful also when you are introducing the surprise element. All right? Now, does anybody have any questions or comments before I begin my wrap-up? Does anyone have any questions or comments? And in the newsletter I had sent to you, I had put the non-negotiables, so you can look at that. But in the newsletter I'm going to send on Monday, I'm going to put a link to some good videos. I'll find the Volvo ad and some other really cool ads that show you what I'm talking about. Any questions or comments? Thank you, Claire. And let me say this. Let me say this. I did. Mombi, are you on the newsletter? I sent that. Did you all get the disc thing? Did you guys get that? Mombi, subscribe to the newsletter if you're not there, because I sent it on Monday. All right, how you can test yourself and know what color you are. I sent that. Okay? And this will help you. And let me tell you something as we wrap up tonight. Let me tell you something. And next week, we'll do storytelling, okay? I'll do storytelling. But let me tell you, don't ever disqualify yourself. Thank you, Christine. I'm happy. Remy, you didn't get it. Are you on the newsletter? Okay, please, let me do something here right now. Yeah, if you're on the... Oh, thank you, Hamza. Because if you're on the newsletter, we sent it. All right, we're going to send it out again on Monday. The disc thing, okay? How to check out what color you are. We will send it out again on Monday. Please make sure. And if you are not sure if you are on the newsletter, just go on LinkedIn, send me a message and just put your email address. I will get it over to my guys who do the newsletter stuff, okay? So you will get it unfailingly on Monday. Okay? Not a problem, not a problem. So this is my parting shot. Please, everybody is a communicator. Let me say that. Everybody is a communicator. You just need to find your style. And some of these things we're saying, just introduce them. Now, when you listen to speeches, great speeches, you go and listen to great speeches now. You begin to see some of these things. You listen to Martin Luther King, I have a dream, you know, and you see that repetition. You see that repetition. And then you see the imagery, you know, talking about the red hills of Georgia, what was it? You see the imagery. He's painting the imagery for you. Then there will be the pause. All right? Then there will be the data. You know, all these together. Oh, it's so powerful. And you weave everything together seamlessly. Everybody is a communicator. You just need to have the right information. And like we said on day one, embrace your own style. All right? Embrace your own style. So, you know, when we say that, let me say, now this is another thing, that sometimes just dropping something that doesn't make sense catches everybody's attention because they think you made a mistake. So imagine when I come and I say, today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to prove to you that your ears were made to see. And I pause for effect. Pause. Then people will murmur, some will smile, some will like, but you know what? You have everybody's attention. Then you drop it again. In case you think I made a mistake, I want to reiterate the fact that ears were made to see. And I pause again. Now, don't overdo it, though, because now, guess what? You have everybody's attention. Then you say you drop the red BMW. What did you just see? Then I speak in Yoruba. And tó bá gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo ń sọ, ẹ pè mí, màá fún yín láago mi. Now, guess what happened? Now, nobody. Okay, I was joking. I've forgotten there's a Remy here who probably understand. Remy, you are disqualified from that particular thing. Okay? So, when I speak it in my language, they can't see. And then you've made the point. You've made the point. Yes, I said, whoever wants the watch, call me. So I've spoken in my language. They don't get it. I've talked about red BMW. They get it. Then I say, do you now understand why I say your ears were made to see? Now, you now build on that quickly. Whatever powerful truth you want to put on that, put it. That a lot of leaders are disconnected from the people they lead. Ronald, this is campaign after election. What's your problem? The election is over. Now you are campaigning. Wait for the next 5 years or 4 years. I hope you got this. So you can drop a statement. Boom. When you drop that statement, you have everybody's attention because they want to know, what is he talking about? And by the time you bring it, you see, it's a case of demand and supply. You drop that statement to create instant demand in the people. They want to know, what are you going to say next? How can you say ears were meant to see? Were made to see. What is he going to say next? You've created the demand. Then you drop the powerful thing you want to drop. You supply it, they will take it in. They will take it in. Then you go on again. You build on that wave, build on that wave. Then you now throw in another element of surprise and build on it. Did you get that? So one of the things I love doing, through my one-on-one mentoring, my one-on-one coaching program, and if anybody's interested in that, let me know, and we can arrange that for you and give you a good rate. I love it when my students, say, oh, I'm going for an interview, and this is, maybe I'm going for an interview to be CEO in a company, to be, and they go there. But I train people to be able to communicate. There was a guy that came to me in Kenya once, and he wanted to be a cabinet secretary, and he was going for vetting. You can imagine my joy in prepping him and preparing him. And it's nothing different from what I'm doing with you right now. All right? So take it out of your mind that, oh, this is complex. It's so simple. Everybody is a communicator. You just need to understand some of these things. So, on that note, I think we've had a good time this evening. So 2 announcements. If you want to be involved you want to take advantage of my one-on-one coaching programs, Yes. One-on-one coaching programs, reach out to me, reach out to us, and we can have a conversation along those lines. And then this month, so next Saturday, I'm going to do a storytelling thing for you all. All right, I'm going to do storytelling. You don't want to miss that. But also, this month, we're launching a special course that will be delivered straight to your mailbox. Special course. 1 second. All right, cool. I will send you details about my coaching program. All right. I will send you details. Again, the easier, let me write all these things down. You know that, oh, by the way, did I tell you that whenever I'm going to communicate, or even if it's a phone call or whatever, I always write my points down so I don't forget. It's just a habit I've learned over time, and it works. Paper doesn't forget. So for the newsletter, I'm putting the disc thing again. I'm putting the Volvo video, Volvo ad, and the Virgin ad. And then I'm going to put info about the coaching program. It's called Reimagine Yourself. Reimagine Yourself. And I'll put 1 or 2 videos there for you. All right. And then I will also put information. Our August special course. It's a special course in August. We have about 10 sessions. And it's called the Laws of Manifestation. All right. 10 sessions, Laws of Manifestation. Mumbi. Those conversations are beyond my pay grade. Sindio. All right, cool. Now listen, the laws of manifestation. There's a lot of people have what I call an execution gap. What is the execution gap? It's the gap between when you make a decision and when you roll it out. A lot of people are experts at talking about what they want to do, but they never get round to doing it. There just seems to be a block. How many of you have ever been in a place where you are talking very excitedly about something, that idea you have, something you want to do, you don't do it, and then next thing, you see somebody doing it, and the person has succeeded and has done well. Has anybody ever been in that position? All right? Now, in this course, this laws of manifestation, I'm going to show you how to shorten the execution gap. I was telling my son one day, I said, there's very little distance between the conclusion and my action. He said, oh, I want that. I want to be like that. All right. And it's a powerful course. There are a lot of assignments that you are going to have to do. You are going to audit your habits. That's one of the things you're going to do. We're going to help you find out what exactly your mindset is. We're going to have a session on redefining reality. All right? What is your reality? Do you know you can change your reality? And because a lot of people have just accepted, the reality that has been imposed on them. And I'm going to teach you how to impose your life on the world. So this is a 10-part course. And like I said, it's going to be sent to you. If you're interested in that, and you know what? For you here, it's going to be so affordable. it will be a sin not to get it. All right? It's going to be so affordable. It's going to be a sin. And I don't think anybody wants to sin. Today is Saturday. We're going to church tomorrow. You don't, you don't want to sin. All right? And it's just going to be 3,000 Kenya shillings. Is that a good deal? Mombi, Kefa, Purity, is that a good deal? 3,000, that's about $25. All right? And it's a 10-part course because we want you to have this thing. And then you begin to manifest. So we're going to roll that out this week, and we'll show you how to go about it, getting that course, and you'll be able to learn at your own pace. Okay? So having said that, and let me say something before I close. Let me say something. To manifest, a lot of people focus on the outside, the actions for manifesting. But do you know what? Manifesting is 80% inside, 20% action. But 99% of the world, you know where they are? 80% action, 20% inside. Once we fix the mindset, then our actions will be products of a fixed mindset, you know. And so that's what we're going to look at also. There's a session where I'm going to teach you how to train and reconfigure your mindset. Okay? So I'm going to send this to you also. Kefa, you have the pay bill. You will have everything on Monday I like Kefa. Those are the kind of questions I want people to be asking. What is the pay bill number? All right, so I'll get you all that. I hope this has added value to you. Oh, Purity, your son is called Wale. Ah, amazing. Ah, we have a program, and my children are the ones that I just hosted the program, and my children took the program. We called it iTeens, and it was such a powerful one. Let me look at what we can put together. How old is Wale? Purity, how old is he? He's 16. That's the right age. Where do you stay in Nairobi, or where do you stay? Are you in Nairobi, Purity? Or in Atlanta? In Naivasha. Okay. Kefa, you have 14 and 15 and 14. All right. We'll put something together. We'll put something together, maybe a camp or so for them. We'll put something together now that you guys have mentioned it. All right. Okie dokie. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, this holiday. Absolutely. Kefa, you and Purity, you are going to work with me on that. Okay? Let's put something together this holiday. So let's work together on that. Okay? Fantastic. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And those of you who are just starting off Saturday. Oh, Hamza, you do team building. So we already have somebody to do the team building services. You see what I love about this family? Okie dokie. Thank you, James. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Peter, thanks. All right, family. So I'll expect my newsletter on Monday. And please share that newsletter with people. Let more people join our family. And let's have fun and grow together. All right. And then next week, I'm promising you a powerful session on storytelling. God bless you. Keep winning. Bye-bye.
It started so well, with a great job in a high-flying corporate environment. Trust me, it was prestigious. But then, I began to feel like something was missing. In spite of all that was happening around me, there was a disconnect in my life. My time, energy, and life seemed to be slipping away as my work did not resonate with my heart. I wanted something more. Then, I decided to take a leap of faith and venture into the uncharted waters of climate-smart agribusiness. We started with manufacturing, installing, and maintaining beautiful urban gardens. We can turn anywhere into a garden. Today, we run a thriving business and are called upon to teach others how it's done. Not only are we succeeding in business, but we are transforming lives through our business, and we are also environmentally friendly. Indeed, it always seems impossible until it's done.